So, hello. Recently I was refreshing my knowledges about conditional operators and logical operators, and I decided to make a lesson about how to make a code shorter using these operators. So, I prepared here two files, index.js and index.html, and I opened index.html here, like that, and inside this index.html, nothing more but this script row. So, that's what we'll need for this lesson. So, let's start with a ternary conditional operator.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Let's create a const x equals to 20. And how can we write our condition? We can write if our x is more than 20, we will console.log x is more than 20. But what if it's less than 20? We'll console.log that x is less than 20, right? Yeah, so let's see if it works. Refresh our page. X less than 20. That's good, that's correct, that's what we wanted. And but this code is too long. How can we simplify that? We can write x more than 20. And here we will write our question mark and console log right here, like console.log x more than 20. And how do we write else? Like this. And console log x less than 20. So I will comment this section so it won't interrupt us, and clear code, refresh page, and that's what I got. So this line of code equals to this line of code, but it's much shorter. So how cool is that? But what if we have not only if and else, but what if we have if else condition? How are we going to do that? So let's see on this example. If x more than 20, else if x equals to 20, for example, console.log x equals to 20. We'll comment this section. So now we should see here x silent variable. Yeah, I'm sorry. Equals to 20. X equals to 20. That's what we expected. But how can we write it shorter? We can write it like that. We will keep this part. But what we're gonna do? We're gonna x equals to 20. Then console.log x equals to 20. And after that, only after that, we'll write our else statement. So console.log x less than 20. So let's clear here our console, refresh our page, and we see x equals to 20. So our code worked. Now we learned about ternary conditional operator. How cool is that? The next thing we're going to learn about is exists rule. So let's write const. Okay, let's keep that const and comment this section right here. Comment code that we wrote, and let's check if x does really exist. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna create this condition. If x is not equals to null, x and x not equals to undefined, and x not equals to empty string. And if this condition is true, we'll write console.log x is defined. So let's check if our code works. Yeah, cool. But how can we make this code shorter? We can just delete this part and just save it. So if we delete and refresh our page, so we can see x is defined because if this x, because Now let's take a closer look on and or operators. So I'll comment this section right here, and I'll write if x, for example, let's create a condition. If x exists, we'll console.log I do exist, and if it's not exist, we'll write console.log I do not exist. I'm not defined. So let's see if our code works. Refresh our page. Yeah, I do exist. Cool. And but it's too long. Let's make it shorter. So how can we make it shorter? We already learned that if we want to check if x does really exist, if x is defined, we should write here like long string that long row that x is not equal to null. We can write just this part. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna write x and statement. And if x does exist, we'll write I do exist. If it's defined, yeah, let's check if it works. Yeah, it's working. Cool. What if you want to check if it's not defined? We can write something different, but really similar to this. We can write exclamation mark x and console log I do not exist. So, and if we have here x equals to undefined, for example, we should see here I do not exist. Yeah, that's what we see. So how cool is that? And the next part is we'll write or operator. So how do we write or? We write it like this. And console.log, and in the console log we'll write blah blah blah. And let's see how it works. It works like it writes here blah blah blah. So what does it mean? It means that if x is defined, that we do nothing. But if x is not defined, we console log this part. So that's what we wrote here. And if you write here exclamation mark, which means that x is not defined, we shouldn't see this blah 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 this time. Let's delete this. I do not exist. That's what we expected. How cool is that? The next thing that we are going to take a look at is double not. Let's comment this part. So how it works. Let's here write x. If it equals to false, then we're gonna console dot log condition, not condition, string I'm x. Let's see what we got here. Refresh this page, we got nothing. And that's what we expected, because x is not a false, x is undefined. But how can we make it a false? We can add double banks to it, double exclamation marks. And let's see. Yeah, I'm x, that's what we expected. So what did it do? So double exclamation marks, they transform our value into Boolean value. So any value can be transformed to Boolean value. So, and if here we'll, for example, write 23, so this is defined value, yeah? So logically, it should be constructed, transformed to true, and we shouldn't see this thing. So let's clear this console, refresh our page, and we saw nothing, because not right now, x was transformed to true. Refresh our page, I'm x. So with the help of double banks, we can turn any value to Boolean value. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, give likes, and see you in the next video.